Hello and welcome back to the I Want to Run a Marathon speedrun guide. In this video I'll be covering the second world, so if you haven't yet seen the first video, the playlist link is in the description. Let's get started. Okay, so this entire first part of this world is based on a giant cycle. This entire screen, which is fairly long actually, is based on one giant cycle. What I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be covering the individual elements on the screen, and then I'm gonna show you how to deal with this cycle, so you can actually make it in time. Alright, so first off, jump up here, do the thing. Alright, for this Koopa here, I'm gonna be obviously hitting the block. Then as the Koopa is falling down, I'm gonna hit it, and then I'm gonna do the Koopa trick, where you cancel your speed going up after hitting the Koopa, so you can more quickly get back down and hit the shell. And then after that, after I've hit the shell, I'm gonna run to the right and the shell is gonna bounce back. And I'm gonna hit the shell again, because otherwise I have to wait for it to go all the way this way and then all the way that way. I'm gonna hit the shell again and then hit it again, which will make it stop and then move to the right again. And it just so happens that when you hit a shell, you have a short period of invulnerability against the shell, so you can actually just hold right and not worry about the recoil of the shell. I'm gonna demonstrate this now. So hit that, hit the Koopa, jump, like that. So as you see, after I've bounced on the shell, I'm hitting jump immediately, because otherwise this happens and I just fly up and it takes a bunch of time. I'm gonna show that again. Like that. And you can just run through the shell because of the invulnerability. When you get to this part, be aware of the block right there. So you want to jump from about here so you don't hit that. You could just trigger the block if you're like really worried about that block. You can just trigger it and then jump on top of it. Alright, next part. Very simple. Again, I'm putting the Koopa trick here again, like that. Now for this, I'm gonna actually go below this platform and then jump up here, because this is slower, doing it that way. Let's just get back there. Once again, the Koopa trick. I'm gonna jump. So these are actually platforms, so you can actually be inside of these, like that. And then you can jump inside of it to get back on top of it, like that. For that, I'm gonna go here, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on this block, so you don't have to go this way and then over there. Now here's where the entire cycle is. The entire reason why the cycle matters is because of this part. If you do this screen fast, without messing anything up, all these Goombas are perfectly lined up. And the plan is to, when this Goomba hits this left wall, that's when you jump. Hit that, jump, hit that, go over, jump to the left. So when the Goomba hits the wall, jump, jump, hit the Goomba, jump over with the Goomba bounce, jump again, jump over with the Goomba bounce, then get over this and then jump over here. Don't land over here. And again, if you did this perfectly, these Goombas are also lined up. But the plan is to, when this one goes to the left, the third one in the line, you run over, then do 2 jumps, then land on a Goomba and bounce up, and then hit down. Like this. And they hit down to get to the next part. Alright, so I'm gonna show the entire cycle there. What happens if you do get the cycle. Alright, so here we go. Here's the cycle. So you want to do everything as fast as you can. The cycle is very lenient, so you don't need to go super fast. And you're gonna see how everything is lined up over here. See, I even had to wait there a little bit. And that's the cycle. Alright, so when you get down here, you're gonna run over here, and then save about here. And here's one of the trickier tricks. I'm gonna be doing the fast cycle here. Normally you're supposed to do it this way. Like that, and then you go like that, and then like that, and then like that. It's really slow. This thing I'm gonna show you here is pretty tricky. You might have tried it at some point and decided it was too hard. I recommend doing this. It's not that hard. If you... It seems hard at first, but if you practice it a bit, it's really not that bad. So you go over here, run to the right, save, hit R, and then you're gonna go like that, and try to clear that spike. Like so, and then you can just run through. So that saves quite a bit of time, and I really recommend learning this, because it's really not that bad. There you go. Alright, next part. Hit this block. Hit the Koopa over. Gonna do the Koopa trick again. Hit that. Hit it again. And for this part, you want to land on the ground. You don't want to land the Koopa shell, because this is kind of a hard cycle that you need to make. So you're gonna hit that, and then quickly run over and just hold right the entire time, and then jump over. There we go. Now when you get to this part, this is the hardest part of the second world. Gonna save and then immediately hit R. Now these Goombas are RNG. They can be in one of two locations. They either move left or right when they first spawn. And depending on that, if you get this guy on the right RNG, you can just like bounce over all these Goombas. This requires quite a lot of practice to do it quickly. But yeah, for the first part right here, you can hold right the entire time. You should learn how to hold right for this until you get to this trigger. And then for the when you go back, that doesn't really matter because you have to wait for the bullet bill anyway. And this is where it gets a little hard to do this fast. I usually stop a lot around here, and it's a little bit sloppy. It's pretty tricky. Alright, moving on to the last part. Do this part like that. Dodge the thwomp. Get over the firebar. Dodge the firebar. Right here you have an option. You can do this. It's a little faster. It saves about 3/4 of a second. But it's the equivalent of a 16 pixel gap. So I don't really recommend it. You can do it if you feel comfortable with it. Or you can just do it that way. Dodge the thwomp. This part is not really... doesn't really have any speedrun tricks. You just do the part. Now right here, you're gonna want to jump off so you barely clip this corner. You want to get down to this block as early as you can. That is because you want to save as early as you can, and then hit R as early as you can. Because you need to fix the cycles on this next save. So you do that. The Koopa trick, get over here. If you do it that way, it's a really nice cycle, where you don't have to wait a whole lot. Get over here, this jump is kind of awkward, but you just do that. Pretty simple world, actually. Alright, moving on Bowser. So, but Bowser has 3 attacks. He will do them in any order. And he will always do all 3 attacks. No matter what, he will always do all three of his attacks. And then after he's done all the 3 attacks, he's going to do a 4th one, but that one is random. The attack he chooses is a random one. And obviously you want to do the Koopa trick for when you knock the Koopas out of the air. See, that time I got the Peach attack again. Now the problem with the Peach attack at the end, sometimes the crown is like right on top of the Koopa. Sometimes it's not. I don't really know why. He always spawns six of them. Or is it 7? Either way, if the first one is on the left, then it'll be in the way. If it's on the right, then it won't be in the way. It seems to happen on the left more often than the right. I'm not entirely sure how it works. For this attack, you want to bounce on as many Goombas as you can, because you want to get down so you can actually hit the shell, otherwise you waste a bunch of time. But sometimes the first one is on the right. I'm not entirely sure why, honestly. If you time this attack well at the end, you can actually just jump over to the Koopa right away, like that. You should always be as far right as you can possibly be. Let's do this one more time. Right there, I timed it. So I hit the Koopa as soon as it spawned. And don't forget to shoot the bullet bill, otherwise you will die. So for this attack, remember, shoot as many Goombas, or kill as many Goombas as you can. So they're less likely to be in the way when you kill a Koopa. Sometimes that happens. That happens when you don't have enough height. Even though it looks like you have enough height, sometimes it still happens. It's a bit annoying. You have to get just enough height. So that time the first one was on the right. And this time it's going to be very easy to hit that Koopa. Again, it seems to occur more often as the first one on the left. But sometimes the first one is on the right. Like that. Don't be too scared of the bullet bill. Right there, you saw me delay a lot because I knew I had the time. There we go. He takes 4 hits to die. And then you just jump over him and touch the X. And just hold right on this part. And that's Super Mario Bros. World. So when I jump from this block right here onto this block, then onto this block. Now right here, you don't want to do a double jump. You're just gonna go left and then do one full jump. Even if you walk off the block and then full jump, you're still gonna make it up there. And on the next screen, you can immediately jump because you're standing on a block. Like that. I'm standing on a block right now, so I can jump again immediately. And you just navigate up here, like this. And for this, you want to hit this block. If you bonk on this block right here, you will accelerate downwards faster, so you can jump off the block. Like so. And that is the second world, Super Mario Bros.